Welcome back to Gravenhurst Public Library's Thinkers and Tinkers Lab, Home Edition. As always, I'm Jen and I'm with you every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. doing fun STEAM activities. So that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics activities that you can do at home. Today, we're going to be focusing on the E in STEAM, which stands for engineering. Last time we talked about engineering, I explained that it was the branch of science and technology that focuses on the design, planning, and building and use of all of the crazy machines, structures, and engines that we use in our lives. But what are engineers? Engineers are the people who make those things happen. They're problem solvers and critical thinkers. Today, you're going to learn to think like an engineer. Engineers are problem solvers, right? So they see a problem, they identify that problem, and they come up with solutions or ways to fix it. We're going to read a book about just that. We're going to read a book about the engineering design process. The book is called The Magnificent Tree by Nick Bland and Stephen Michael King. I'm reading it with permission from Scholastic Press. So I'm going to read you this book, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to identify the problem that Bonnie and Pop are trying to solve and the steps that they take to get to their solution, the steps that they take to solve the problem. Are you ready? Let's read the book. The Magnificent Tree by Nick Bland and Stephen Michael King. Bonnie and Pop were always bursting with ideas. Pop liked Bonnie's ideas because they were simple, clever, and properly made. Bonnie liked Pop's ideas because they were big, brave, and brilliant, with bits sticking out. Between them, they had ideas for just about everything. Everything, that is. But the birds, Bonnie and Pop loved the birds and wished they would stay. But every day, the birds flew over and over and away. What we need is a tree, said Bonnie. I completely agree, said Pop. And they both knew exactly how to make one. Pop's idea was big and brave. His idea was so big, it couldn't fit in his head all at once. He had to write it down and draw pictures so it wouldn't get away. Bonnie's idea was simple, and it would fit right there in the palm of her hand. They tinkered through summer and toiled through autumn. They sawed, hammered, and built their way through winter. Bonnie and Pop enjoyed every day that they spent together. And on the first day of spring, Pop's tree was ready, just in time for the birds. They filled the air with feathers and song and flew all around Pop's brilliant tree. Then they landed in the branches of the little orange blossom. Simple, clever, and properly made. What a magnificent idea, said Pop. Perfect, said Bonnie. Just perfect. The end. What a great book. I'm I'm so happy that Bonnie and Pop found a way to keep the birds around. So, did you notice what the problem was? That's right. The problem was that the birds kept flying away every night and Bonnie and Pop wanted to hang out with them. So they needed to find a way to keep the birds around. Now, did you notice the steps that Bonnie and Pop took to solve that problem? Let's talk about those steps. Step number 1, they defined the problem. The birds keep flying away every single night and we want them to stay. Step number 2, they imagined a solution. Bonnie said, "What we need is a tree." Step number 3, they planned their solution. Did you see all the amazing drawings that Pop did? He really knew what he was going to build before he started building it. Step number 4, Bonnie and Pop brought their imagination, brought their creation to life. They created something to solve the problem based on their plans. Step number 5, they tested their creation. They asked, did it work? I think it definitely did since the birds hung around. Now, of course, if it hadn't have worked, they would have had to restart this process. They would have had to imagine a new solution, identify the problems, and try and fix them. So what Bonnie and Pop did was they followed the engineering design process. Let's outline those steps again in a way that's a little bit easier to understand. Check out this diagram. It outlines all of the steps in the engineering design process. First up, engineers ask, what is the problem? And they define the constraints. Constraints are the things that you're limited by. So maybe you're limited by your materials, your time, or your skills. Next, they get to imagine. This is really the fun part. You get to brainstorm all the different solutions to the problem. In the next stage, you get to plan. Planning involves drawing. You can draw your solution, the thing that you brainstormed. You can make a list of materials and get ready to create. Now that you've prepared, you get to build the solution to your problem. You get to create. You can make it, try it out, and test it. Next up, you have to evaluate how well your solution works. Could you make it better? Are there ways you can improve? If you can improve it, start the engineering design process all over again. Ask, what ways can I improve it? Imagine solutions, plan for them, and modify your creation. Now that we know all about the engineering design process, I have a challenge for you. Take a look around your house. What problems are there that you could use the engineering design process to solve? I want to hear all about what problem you found and what you did to fix it. And remember, just like Bonnie and Pop, who used their own unique skills to solve the bird problem, you have your own unique skills that you can use too. Follow your strengths, follow your heart, and design away. All right, thinkers and tinkers, what did you come up with? What problems did you find, and how did you solve them? Like this video, leave a comment, post a photo or your own video, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday and Thursday with more STEAM activities that you can do at home. Until then, thanks for watching.